Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to the Friday morning warm-up, and we're off again on another little journey through scales and arpeggios and chords and so on, and we'll get started straight away because you all know the format. So I'm going to put onto the screen the rhythm that we're going to clap just to get going, just to limber up on, and I hope you can all see the little rhythm there. Right, we're just going to do it for a minute, of course, and just going to do the rhythm on the top there, the 3-2 cascara. 3-2 is referring to the clave which it connects with, synchronizes with, which is shown below, but we're not clapping that, unless you want to clap that as well, because it will lock in with the rhythm at the top. I'm just going to clap the rhythm on the top of the page there, and cascara means shell, or the shell of the drum, so it's often tapped out on the side of a drum. Anyway, we're going to do this at a decent walking pace. Actually, I don't know what all your walking paces are, they're probably all different, but here we go. If you can get those accents in as well, great. I'm not going to do that because I'll probably trip up. So here we go, after 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1. And 1. And 1, and 1. Last time, and 1. Ba, 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 ba. Did you get that last offbeat in? Good. Okay, there's a little clapping pattern to get it started. If you'd like to get to your instruments, and we will just get a note out of them to start with. That's probably the main thing to get going. The basic scale today is concert D major and D. So E for the tenors and B's for the altos. So concert D. I'm just going to play the note D. I'm sure you guessed that. And just for a minute, if you'd like to just blow some notes, get your instrument tuned up, perhaps. Try some harmony notes. Sing along if you can. Okay, now we're going to do the chromatic scale. So I'm just going to slow the metronome down from our walking clapping speed to a nice ballad tempo of about 80 beats a minute, and we will of course play the chromatic scale from D, concert D, up to the octave and down again. So same pattern as we've been doing for the last few weeks. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, so aiming for consistent tone, unless you've set yourself some other parameters such as crescendo or diminuendo. Consistent tone throughout, and string players, guitarists and so on, keeping your fingers close to the strings, not pressing too hard, that's the other thing, so that you don't have to release. So let's do that again. Just press the notes strings as lightly as you need to. Here we go. 1, same again. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to try harmony, that works. Just start a fourth up. Just start on, say, concert F sharp, for example, and you'll be a major third above me all the time, and it'll still sound fine. So, and it'll get you perhaps used to playing a harmony note and ignoring the other one. Right, quite a bit faster now. Whatever pattern you're going to do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I hope it's going well for you. Faster still, up to 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, very sorry, I went wrong there. Let's start again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. Let's do a really fast one. Right, up to 200. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm not. Didn't have my plectrum ready. Let's do that again. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, one more time in case that was a false start for anyone. It's pressing this metronome and getting my plectrum ready quick enough. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Phew! Righty ho, that's your chromatic scale. Good. Let's move on now to the main topic today, and it's something I'm calling broken arpeggios, and something I'd never heard of before 2 weeks ago. But it's something my trumpet tutor got me to play, and she called it a broken arpeggio, so I'm calling it a broken arpeggio because she's my teacher and I believe everything she says. What a broken arpeggio is? Well, we know arpeggio, it's a chord played note at a time, usually starting on the root, then the third, then the fifth, and then the octave. So we're not doing seventh chords, just doing the triads, 3-note chords, root, third and fifth. So a typical arpeggio, so you were doing, well in this case it's D major, isn't it? So it would be D the root, F sharp the third, A the fifth, and D again, the octave. Now, an inversion of that, that's called the root position arpeggio. So it's rooted on the main note, the root note. The first inversion of a chord is when you move the root up. Well, we've already moved it up, but we're taking it off the bottom so that the arpeggio then starts on the third. So if the root, third, fifth, and then we move to starting on the third, fifth, octave, third. We've then got the first inversion. And broken arpeggios are when you play these in sequence, so that you're gradually sort of climbing up the scale, starting on an ever increasing chord tone. So anyway, we'll come to that in a minute. It'll become clearer when you play the actual scale. Okay. Actually, you probably don't play the octave each time, but As I said, I'm learning this at the same time as you are, so let's just play the D major scale, which is the first two bars of the sheet in front of you, and we're just going to play that first. So it's the concert D major. I'm just going to slow it down a little bit because we're on quavers. So after 4, first two bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So that's just a straightforward concert D major scale up and down. Okay, we're on the top line. The bars 3 and 4 then. So what we're looking at here is what's called the tonic arpeggio, or tonic chord arpeggio. So the root, the third, the fifth, and the octave of the root chord of the key. So this would be D major, in other words. And it's only 3 notes: the root, third, and fifth, plus the octave. So we're calling that a triad. So let's just play the next 2 bars, which is up and down the triad. Okay, just as written. Bars 3 and 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 2, 3, 4. Root, third, fifth, octave, fifth, third, root. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, of course, this will be very straightforward for some of you, or all of you perhaps, and but there's always ways to improve it. So when you're playing something like this and you think, well, I've done that before, I'll just play it without thinking, just listen to what you've played and see if there's any way you can improve that, or give yourself a certain parameter to play it in a certain way, slurred or tongued, plucked in a certain way in a certain position, use a different position on the guitar, find somewhere else to play it, and so on. Okay, moving on to the second line, we're now moving up to the subdominant chord of this key. Now, when we talk about subdominant, we're talking about a major chord built on the 4th degree of the scale. So we're in D. If we're in concert D, then the 4th degree of the scale will be, insert chord here, G. That's right. So the subdominant starts on G, and it will be a major chord, and it will be the root, the third, and the fifth, plus the octave, starting on G. So that will be G, B, D, and G again. Likewise, it will be A or E for the other B flat and E flat instruments. So we're now going to play bars 1 and 2 of the second line. So this is, in this key, this is the subdominant chord. Right, so first 2 bars, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the moment we're just going through the arpeggios in this key. This isn't directly to do with broken arpeggios, it's just leading up to it. So this is just standard stuff for the key. As you all know, there are 3 major chords in a major key. and they're rooted on the 1st, the 4th and the 5th degrees of the scale. So we've done the D, the root one, we've just done the 4th degree, that's the subdominant, and then the all important 5th degree, the dominant, will start on concert A, B or F sharp for the others. So starting on concert A, the dominant chord arpeggio. Root 3rd, 5th, and we'll put in the octave in as well just for the sake of making it a more interesting exercise. Here we go. So we're on the 3rd and 4th bar of the 2nd line. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Good, so there are our basic building blocks for what's about to take place when we come to practice broken arpeggios. So let's move on to the next line, and we're just going to go through those 3 arpeggios and just play them now in a broken arpeggio style. So we're not going to worry about that octave note, we're just doing the root, the 3rd and the 5th. So if we look at the next line down, I don't know if you can see this, but they're in groups of 3 ascending sets, and it's root, 3rd, 5th for the first 3 notes, and then if you look, it comes back down to the 3rd and then goes up to the 5th just after the bar line, and then up to the next root, so that's the first inversion of the chord, and then it comes down to the 5th and then goes up 5th octave, 3rd. Actually, I could be pointing on the screen, couldn't I? That would help. And then the last one is back to a root, 3rd and 5th, but an octave higher than the first one. So we're just on the tonic chord here, not going through those 3 chords, just on the tonic. So it's, if you can see, hopefully you can see the pointer. Root, 3rd, 5th, invert it, 3rd, 5th, root, invert it, 5th, root, 3rd, and then finally back to root, 3rd, 5th. And this phrase inversion simply means that you're taking the lowest note off, putting it onto the top of the arpeggio, and then playing that. And that would be your first inversion. So root position is that first one, first inversion is the second one, 3rd inversion is that one, and back to another root inversion is that one. When you've got 3 notes in a chord, you've only got 3 inversions, and it's generally whatever happens to be on the bottom. So last word on the subject, if the root's on the bottom, the lowest note in the arpeggio, it's called a root position. If the 3rd is on the bottom of the arpeggio, it's called the first inversion. And if the 5th is on the bottom, it's called the second inversion. Right, let's play that. Okay, so we're just going to play the first 3 bars. I think we're on the 3rd line, yes, on the 3rd line, where it says tonic chord ascending broken arpeggio. And the broken arpeggio bit is simply the fact that you're playing through these arpeggios through the inversions. Okay, here we go. First 3 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. I hope that worked for everybody. Apologies to bass players. It's a little bit high, that last bar. I don't know if you can just repeat the jump down to the bottom, perhaps. Here we go. Let's do that again. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, being a guitarist, I'm looking at that thinking I can see chord shapes coming out. Yes, I mean it's simply outlining chords anyway, so that will be the case. Let's do that one more time. So tonic chord, ascending, broken arpeggio. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, root third, fifth, octave, third, Okay, let's move on to the next 3 bars, and this is the same thing, it's just descending. Yeah, so just doing the same thing, actually starting on the last note of the previous section. And the reason for that is you can play the whole thing as a 1 6-bar exercise. So, next 3 bars, 1, 2, descending, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Well, that's on the tonic chord. So now I'm going to play the go to the next line and play the same thing on the subdominant. So starting on the 4th degree of this key, D major, concert D. So on to the next line now, subdominant, broken, arpeggio, ascending. Let's just play those first 3 bars. It's all the same idea, just starting on a different note. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, hope it's going well so far. Let's move on to the next 3 bars. So this is the descending version. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, good, good. So that's done it for the subdominant, and the third major chord in this key is the dominant. So let's go on to the next line and just move that up. So on the penultimate line now, and we're just going to do the same pattern starting on the 5th degree of the scale. So starting on concert A. So that'll be B or F sharp. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we need to do the next 3 bars now. So this will be the descending version. Are we ready for descending dominant? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. God, yeah, got my fingers tied up there. Sorry, start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's better. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, for guitarists and ukulele players, that can get your fingers into strange places, because I don't often play those sort of things. Tell you what, let's just play that whole line, because that is an exercise in itself, just to play an ascending broken arpeggio followed by descending. Now we do repeat the top note, and so we're just going to play the penultimate line right the way across, all 6 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's just one chord there we're playing. We weren't going through any other chords, just that one triad, 3-note chord, in this case the dominant of the key, and we were going root 3rd, 5th, then inverting it 3rd, 5th octave, and so on, and then coming down it was just in reverse, literally in reverse. Reverse order of inversions as well. Okay, of course you can do this on any chord, any arpeggio, triad arpeggio. You can invert it and play it in that manner. Okay, on the bottom line then I've just got a couple of examples here which look a little bit more woo, but we'll try them. I'll slow the tempo down quite a bit. I think I was just trying to squeeze them into the bottom line. That's why I was of the sheet. Now this one, exercise number 1, if I get my pointer out, just explain what's going on. It's actually going through those 3 chords that we talked about earlier, the tonic, the subdominant and the dominant, and then back to the tonic. Only for 3 notes each, so 1 arpeggio. Sorry, no, 2. Oh, 2. So what you'll see is the first 6 notes are the root inversion of the tonic, followed by the first inversion. There we go. That's the 3rd, so that's the first inversion. And then we've gone down to the subdominant and done the root position followed by the first inversion, and then the dominant and done the root followed by the first inversion, and then finally back to the tonic. Hope you're following this. The root followed by the 3rd. It's an arbitrary example. You could mix and match all sorts of inversions, ascending or descending, and I think when you hear this you'll start to think, that's where certain sorts of music comes from. You start to hear things in it. So let's just play that. Just don't want to play it too quickly though, to start with at least. for my benefit. Let's give that a go. So we're going through all 4 chords now in the first 3 bars, just the first 3 bars. Bottom line, here we go. 1, what's slow? 1 and 2, 1 and 2, da, da, da. Yeah, we'll do that speed. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right. I think I managed that. Hope you did too. If not, take it slower and just ignore what I'm playing. Let's do that again. I hope you can see there's melodies starting coming out of this now, as well as obviously a chord progression, because it's going through those chords. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going through the 4 chords, the 1, the 4, the 5 and back to the 1, just using 2 of the inversions in each case. And the exercise number 2 is the reverse of that. I'm having a quick look. Yes, that's the. Another interesting thing about it actually is the arpeggios are in threes, groups of 3, but we're playing over groups of 4. So you're getting this kind of metric disturbance going on where we're going in and out of time with the bar. But that's fine. Okay, exercise number 2. Right, get my fingers ready. Last 3 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, started on the wrong note. Yeah. That one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, tricky. I found that tricky, so hope you managed to play something. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll do it one more time. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phew! God, that's not so easy. And well, excuses, guitarists and all that sort of thing. Our fingers don't always go in those sort of directions and positions, so good stuff. Right, well, I hope you found that interesting and a new way of practicing chords and arpeggios, or a different way. And or you might have done that before, and because it probably appears in classical exercises, as you can tell from that last bit that we were doing there. It had overtones of sort of Baroque musics. Especially if you play that a lot quicker, you'll start to think, oh, I recognise that. Good. Right, let's move on now just to the final part of the session today. And I'm just going to strum those chords that you've been playing the arpeggios over just for the last minute. You can try those last ones slowly over the chords. I'm going to play these chords in 3/4 time. So if you're playing a strumming instrument or piano, we're in 3/4, but slow. But if you just want to improvise or practice your arpeggios over the chords, that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to do 2 bars of each chord in a 3/4 style. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Next. Subdominant. Dominant. Back to tonic. And again. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Beginning again. Root third, fifth, root third, fifth, root third, fifth, root third, fifth, root third, fifth. One more, and boom. Finish on the tonic. And there we have it, broken arpeggios. I always thought arpeggios are broken chords to start with, but hey ho. Good, right, thank you very much everybody, and nice to see you all.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, David. Very good, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Really
Thanks,
enjoyed
Dave.
that.
Thank you.
See you all next
everybody.
week. Hi there, Kay.
Yeah.
Hi, Anna.
Bye, all.
One or two others that might
Thank
come.
you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.